It's a long way to the top. If you want to rock and roll, you want to rock and roll? Riding on the highway, going to a show. Stopping on the byway, playing rock and roll. Getting round, getting stoned, getting beat up, getting a bone, getting high, getting shook. Why do you folks? It's harder than it looks. It's a long way to the top if you wanna rock and roll. It's a long way to the top if you wanna rock and roll. If you think it's easy to do one night stands, try playing a rock and roll band. It's a long way to the top if you wanna rock and roll.
Good evening, race fans. I'm your host, Caden Reif, and welcome back to another installment of the 2007 season of the NASCAR Coca-Cola Cup Series. We're here from Indianapolis. It's race number 19 out of 36, the Brickyard 400, one of the biggest races on this season's calendar, as we head to the Yard of Bricks for race number 19, big racetrack here today. Expecting some high-speed action on this four-cornered facility. As we take you to the racetrack for your starting lineup in today's race, is Kurt Busch in the 01 car is going to start on pole here today from the Brickyard. As to his outside, it's going to be the 83 of Elliott Sadler in P number 2. Starting in third tonight, it's going to be the points leader, DJ Kennington, in the 81 from P3. Jeff Gordon, professional of this facility, P4. And Matt Kenseth will round out the top 5 in the 17 with Jimmy Johnson to his outside right behind his teammate. 7th place, that'll be Casey Atwood in the 30 car as Carl Edwards starts in the 8th position. Greg Biffle will be P9 on the inside, and Ryan Newman on the outside rounds out the top 10. 11th place is going to be Robbie Gordon, and Jason Leffler in the 12th position. 13th, that goes to Tony Stewart, and Jeremy Mayfield will be in the 14th position. Juan Pablo Montoya, P15, and Casey Mears will be in the 16th spot. 17th goes to John Andretti's number 21 team. 18th is Scott Wimmer. 19th is going to be Eric Norris, and Ricky Hendrick rounds out the top 20. 21st is going to be Casey Kane. That is last week's winner. 22nd, Kyle Busch. 23rd is Martin Truex Jr. Brad Keselowski will be in the 24th position. Couple of rookies in that row. 25th is going to be Jeff Burton's number 8. J.J. Yaley in P26. 27th is going to be Todd Bodine. And Dale Earnhardt Jr. in the 28th spot. 29th, that's Brian Vickers. Morgan Shepherd will be in 30th tonight in the 89. Bobby Labonte starts from 31st. David Rudiman to his outside in 32nd place. Kevin Harvick will be in 33rd. And Clint Boyer, the 34th place car. 35th, that's Marcos Ambrose. Jamie McMurray will start in 36th. TJ Bell will be in P37, and AJ Allmendinger back in the 07 this week. He's 38th. 39th goes to Scott Riggs. Boris Said in the 06 will be in 40th, and rounding out the field in the back row will be Jacques Villeneuve in the 49, and Jeffrey Bodine in the 7 car in 42nd place. 42 car field. As always, here from Indianapolis, we take it to the racetrack for the most famous words in motorsports. It's the command here from the Brickyard 400.
Drivers, start your engines!
Field roars to life as we get set to roll on the long outlap here from Indianapolis. The Brickyard 400, one of the biggest races on the calendar. Last time out at this racetrack, we saw spills and thrills. There were a lot of accidents at this place, especially off of 4. That's the biggest trouble spot at this track. We saw a lot of incidents there, a lot of cars taken out of this race. Not a lot of people finished it last year. People are hoping that that's going to be a little different this year, see a little bit more action, a lot more cars on the racetrack. But this is a hard, hard race to finish, Nate.
Definitely a very hard race and just a very hard race track to get a hold of. Despite the corners being very geometrically similar, each of them drives so vastly different, so you can't take one end of the racetrack and just apply it to the other. You have to drive all 4 corners differently, and that makes it so hard to hook up a good lap around here. And you're going to have to hook up a whole bunch of them in a row if you want to win this race, and yet alone not wreck your race car in the process.
Absolutely. We see the draft being important at this racetrack. People love to draw comparisons to Pocono here. This racetrack, obviously, one of Pocono's corners very similar to it. Those are 2 of the most difficult ovals on the calendar, this and Pocono. It's very similar. A lot of long straightaways, a lot of heavy braking. Going to see a lot of dive bombs in this race.
Definitely going to see a lot of dive bombs, but we're also going to see some really exciting racing, especially on the opening laps, with guys trying to get down into the draft, jostling for position, but hopefully they're able to keep it straight and we can have a fun, clean race today.
Without a question. Kurt Busch and Elliott Sadler on the front row as we get started on the second half of the season here today. DJ Kennington starting in that 3rd position is your points leader by about a race. I believe it was over the 42 of Tony Stewart. Should probably actually fact check that. But nonetheless, 18 races completed, 18 more to go. Kurt Busch and Elliott Sadler, the front row. Pace car going to peel off on the left as it's the long run down the front stretch towards the restart box. As we get set to go green here in one of the biggest races of the 2007 season. Fans are on their feet. It's getting noisy here at Indianapolis. We're green as we race off to turn number 1 in the Brickyard 400. Racing down the backstretch for the first time as Kurt Busch gets clear from the pole. DJ Kennington, the 3rd place car, right on his tail as they enter turn number 3. Single file through about the top 5 or 6 as the top 3 have broken away just a little bit on the opening lap, leaving turn 4 this time.
Kenseth almost got in the back of Kennington, had to lift a little bit as the field double file back behind this top 6 or 7 or so. Everybody looked like they were able to keep it straight there off of turn 4. That's been the trouble spot in recent years.
Oh, you see contact there between Biffle and Jeff Gordon as they keep it together. Already getting a little dicey as Biffle overestimated it going into turn 1. Jeff Gordon doing a good job to hold on to that race cars. Meanwhile, up front, DJ Kennington taking away the lead early.
Kenseth going to try to follow him through here. Side by side for the 2nd spot. Kennington going to come down to cover. And Casey Atwood, who has had a miserable season so far, trying to get some momentum back at a racetrack very similar to the one that he very nearly won at last season.
Got a little tight there out of turn 4. Couldn't quite keep it underneath. Lost a couple of spots. Now side by side for 4th with Elliott Sadler's number 83 team as we head through turn number 1. One of the big things that these guys complained about a little bit in practice and qualifying leading up to this race is that these race cars, we always mention the fact that it's a new learning experience this season with the new Gen 5, and these guys have really been doing a good job of getting used to them. But this and Pocono are the 2 big racetracks that people have mentioned that you feel the extra weight of these cars the most. Tire wear has been up a little bit. Goodyear did a lot of testing to make sure that their tires were working properly at the racetracks like these that are flat and fast. But we still have seen some elevated tire wear, so expect to see a little bit more tire fall off and lap time fall off in this race, you would have to imagine.
And of course, with a racetrack like this, which isn't primarily designed for stock cars, of course the tire wear is going to be a little higher with this diamond-graded surface, which has worked wonders for IndyCar, but for NASCAR, the results are somewhat unclear.
Racing out of turn number 2 down the back stretches. It's Kennington and Kenseth up at the front of the field. Very early on in the going here. Lap times always long at this racetrack. Field have single filed out pretty significantly. Haven't seen any incidents so far. Looking like the back of the field has kept it pretty clean as well, though a lot of stack ups as these guys have been racing hard for position at the back end of the field. See a couple of drivers with some uncharacteristic struggles to start this race. Bobby Labonte, Jamie McMurray, both way back at the end of the field right now. Dale Earnhardt Jr., another one of the best drivers of the season, outside of the top 30 to start this event here at Indianapolis.
Yeah, and Indianapolis has always been a racetrack where it is difficult to pass despite how good the draft is at this racetrack. Making your way through the field is always difficult. When the field gets so spread out like this, you have to be in the draft, and once you get to a pocket where you don't have draft, it makes it really difficult to go forward.
So many guys stacked up in that pack. Rest of the field from about 25th onwards is mostly single file, as Kenseth has still been trying to chase the tail of that 81, and it has really just been the summer of DJ Kennington over the last handful of races.
Yeah, Kennington is proving why he has been such a highly touted prospect and really has set the Cup Series on fire. As he did the Busch Series last season, that 81 team has had more speed than anybody throughout this season by and large. And really, it doesn't matter what racetrack we go to or what track type we go to, that 81 always shows up.
Absolutely. Lap number 6 coming to take lap 7 this time. He's got a hungry number 17 car, Matt Kenseth, right behind him. Another driver we've talked about all season long, looking for a win in the Cup Series. He's been very competitive this year, had one of his better seasons, and not quite sure if we mentioned it on broadcast when it happened a couple of weeks ago that Kenseth did declare he'll be heading to free agency going into next season. So this will be the last year of the coupling for the 17 team in Roush. And Kenseth trying to do everything he can to up that stock this year. He has had a fantastic season in that Roush 17, and it's a bittersweet season for sure coming to an end with his campaign with Roush. He's been there since he made his Cup Series debut, but just free agent market starting to heat up when you get to this point in the season, and a couple of big-name drivers already on the open market.
And a lot of big-name owners are very, very interested in the prospect of having Matt Kenseth on their race team. He is somebody who has always been incredibly smart and knows what he wants out of his race car. And that's something that you just can't get with a young driver. You have to have experience to know exactly what you want out of your race car, as he very nearly gets contact with Kurt Busch there. But Kenseth, now a veteran of this sport, he knows exactly what he wants. And if he goes to a team that gives him the opportunity to drive what he wants, I think that'll be a really, really good pairing.
Just saw that, as you mentioned, in very nearly contact between Kurt Busch, the pole sitter, and the 17 of Kenseth, as Busch made a very aggressive move to take over that second position. The caution flag is out for the first time here at Indianapolis, and we got a big collection here, I believe in turn 4.
Yeah, major incident there. Looked like in the mid-20s range. Riggs' car absolutely destroyed, as he is going to make it back. Other cars were not so lucky, but we'll see what happened here.
Yeah, caution flag out on lap number 8. Gonna get a look at the incident that took place here. Imagine it would have had to have been in front of Riggs, and it was further up in turn 3, and that was Martin Truex Jr. and Casey Mears, couple of rookies. Looks like Mears got out for a move late, and Truex might have just cut down on him a little too much, and Mears also seemed like he overdrove the corner, and man, that is a hard hit for Truex. My goodness.
My goodness. Yeah. Oh, and he gets hit again. Major hit for Norris.
Oh my goodness. That was
Ambrose hit incredibly hard.
A lot of passenger side hits here on the right side of race cars, and looking like everybody's okay, but that was a hard wreck on lap number 8. We saw a lot of hard hits there. Especially that knock for Truex in the 28 car.
Yeah, I mean, passenger side or not, that is a major, major hit for Martin Truex, and already a major shot to the wall, and really not much time to recover, and the car lifted off of the ground completely and takes another head-on shot from Norris. Norris gets hit hard, And
It was that Ambrose hit that was a real
My
big knock to
goodness.
the outside wall. Lost a lot of
And
speed from the contact, but still very hard.
Dale Earnhardt Jr. also took a very hard, similar hit behind him. Don't know how Ambrose was able to drive away from that, but he does make it to pit road. I'd assume a little dazed, but he seems to be all right.
Meanwhile, on lap number 10, field down pit road for tires and fuel as DJ Kennington leads everyone down. Again, as mentioned, everybody was okay. And you're going to see a lot of two-tire pit stops here as racing off of pit exit. Believe Kurt Busch just stayed in front of the 17. DJ Kennington. Ooh, contact between him and Kane leaving pit road as well. Just a little love tap between him and the 12, but damage on the right side of the 81. That is a rough break.
Yeah, you definitely don't want damage at this racetrack. Anything that is going to impede your aero is going to affect the speed of your race car at a racetrack like this where draft is so important. So we'll see if he's able to mitigate that, but that could make things significantly more challenging for this 81 team.
Absolutely. You see most of the field on the pit stop log took two tires. It was only the 81, 83, and the 2, as well as any of the damaged cars who took 4 tires. So Elliott Sadler, another quick car that was in the top 10 early on 4 tires, looked like he got away without colliding with anyone in the pits, and Keselowski also on 4 as well. Lap number 10 here from Indianapolis. Kurt Busch in the race lead. We'll take an intermission. It's the Brickyard 400 here on NASCAR on ESPN. Back from intermission here at Indianapolis as we get set to go green on lap number 13. Kurt Busch going to be the race leader. Take a look at your 3 cars that are on 4 tires. Obviously, Kennington a bit of a setback with damage on the right side of his race car. Elliott Sadler is also on 4 tires, and the only other driver who took 4 that has a clean race car is Brad Keselowski, and he is all the way back in the 32nd position, a long way behind. A lot of ground to make up, but meanwhile up front it'll be Kurt Busch, Matt Kenseth, Casey Atwood, Robbie Gordon, and Tony Stewart. Your top 5 as the pace car peels in. Lap number 13 as we head towards the restart box. And the green flag is in the air, and a great jump for your race leader, Kurt Busch.
And it actually falls further into the clutches of the RCR duo behind him. Looks like Atwood got a big run there. Gonna go underneath Kenseth. And 17 might get freight trained here.
Yeah, got caught napping a little bit there, and being on the outside on cold tires is really not where you want to be, so he loses a couple of spots, might be more, as Jeff Gordon is underneath of him with Jimmy Johnson giving a little bit of help to his teammate, but Kenseth, with the draft on the outside, stays in front of him. As everybody gets settled in now into turn 3. Kurt Busch, Casey Atwood into the 2nd position. Just what a run for this 30 car right now, but Robbie Gordon not going to cut any slack to his teammate, trying to fight him for the 2nd spot as they leave turn 4.
We'll see if he stays there. The 30 does have a push from Tony Stewart behind him, but Robbie Gordon going to hang tough with that side draft. Looks like he's going to get the position.
Great move by the 31 as he moves into the 2nd position. Meanwhile, Kenseth recovers from the setback on the restart. Underneath of the 30 for 3rd. Jimmy Johnson right next to him as well as we race out of turn 2 this time. A lot of double file in this front group. Johnson thinking about taking it 3 wide. Thinks better of it going into 3, and Kenseth stays in 3rd.
Tell you what, another really good run from John Andretti today, who is now approaching the top 5 down on that bottom lane.
Andretti family with a little bit of history at this racetrack as he moves into what I believe that is the 5th position. So Andretti putting the 21 car in the top 5 once again. It's been a great summer stretch for this 21 team. Had that pole at Kansas a couple of weeks ago. It has been a great season altogether for the 21. They've been looking to the better part of themselves for pretty much this entire season, and Andretti once again in the top 10 and in the top 5, sitting in that 5th position. A great run for that Ford Motorcraft 21 team.
Of course, there are a lot of laps left, but what a story it would be if an Andretti went to victory lane at the famed Yard of Bricks. What unbelievable that would be.
My goodness, right behind that 21 car, that is Atwood and Tony Stewart, as Stewart almost took the door off of Casey Atwood in turn 4, trying to get past him for 6, but Atwood hangs tough. Got a couple of quick race cars right behind him, Stewart, Edwards, Newman, and also Juan Pablo Montoya in the 84. Right at the back of this. Meanwhile, taking a look at the drivers who are on 4 tires, Kennington really hasn't been able to make any headway, and you look at Elliott Sadler, who has, of course, Sadler without any damage compared to Kennington. Kennington's probably just trying to survive until the next pit stop to get that thing fixed. Really rough break for the early leader in that 81 team. They were hoping to try and pad that points lead coming into this week. A little bit tight there, and the caution is out. And we have ourselves another accident. I believe TJ Bell might have been a part of it. A couple of cars already off the racetrack, so we're under a yellow flag once again at lap number 17, and we're going to get a replay of what happened here. Oh, it was contact going into turn 3. I believe the 2 and the 49. And then the 06 of Boris said, oh my goodness.
Oh my gosh, yeah, it looked like he tagged the end of the safer barrier there. Goodness gracious, what a hit.
Couple of really hard hits in this race, quite a few already, and we're under caution for the 2nd time in tonight's race. So Robbie Gordon leads the field back to the yellow flag, got past Kurt Busch for 1st. Lap number 17 here at Indianapolis, as we are likely to see another round of pit stops on the yellow flag here. Might see some more split strategy depending on what these guys want to do, especially with Elliott Sadler on the 4 tires. Might take 2 on this one, see if the field who took 2 on the first pit stop take left sides only on this pit stop. That might be the move, but we're going to see. Field coming down pit road here on lap number 17, coming to lap 18. as Gordon leads everybody down. Turning into a little bit of strategy here at Indianapolis. Something we haven't seen much of at this racetrack in the last couple of years, but seeing a little bit more of it this season. Robbie Gordon, race leader, in on the left to get his pit service, and it is going to be at least right sides for the 31 team. Let's see if they end up taking 4 here. What the move is for a lot of these guys. Looking like it is going to be 4 tires. Meanwhile, Elliott Sadler and DJ Kennington in for their service. Kennington going to get that repair he needed on the right side of his race car. And it is going to be 4 tires for the entire field. So, Robbie Gordon wins the race off of pit road. Lap number 18 here from Indianapolis with the 31 car in first. And we will be right back here from the Brickyard 400. It's NASCAR on ESPN. Back from intermission here at Indianapolis, we get set to go green. Be lap number 21 for Robbie Gordon, the race leader, at the restart as he sits in the first position. Kurt Busch will restart in P number 2. It'll be Matt Kenseth third, Jimmy Johnson fourth, and John Andretti P5. Both Boris Said and Jacques Villeneuve were okay after that incident, and also worth noting that the 44 of Brian Vickers' season of woes continues as he blew up under yellow flag and is out of this race.
Yeah, we saw him crawl to pit road on the brake. He did make it, but definitely some cleanup they had to do with oil, so we'll see how these guys are able to traverse it as they come back down the long straightaway, ready to restart this race. We'll see if second place car Kurt Busch can get a better jump than Kenseth did on the last restart from that same position, because you definitely don't want to be going backwards here.
Green flag in the air, once again seeming like it's the advantage to the leader as Robbie Gordon gets away very well, but Busch didn't time it poorly either. Andretti is the first one to jump out of line, looking underneath of Jimmy Johnson for the 4th position in turn number 1.
Tell you what, that 21 is looking really, really stout today. It looks like he's really just been going further and further forward. He might make another move here on Matt Kenseth, certainly taking a look.
3 wide further behind. This is Kevin Harvick and Juan Pablo Montoya as they got filtered out. Meanwhile, Andretti still moving forward, as you said, underneath of Matt Kenseth for the 3rd spot. Couple of Fords, and he's got it made. John Andretti into the podium positions.
Like you said, the Andretti family, such a rich history here in Indianapolis. What a story it would be if he was able to bring the Wood brothers to victory lane in the Brickyard 400 and put the Andretti name back on top at this fabled racetrack.
It's been a long time since that 21 car went to victory lane. It was 2001. Back with Elliott Sadler in that car at Bristol in the 3rd position just prior to halfway now, and closing pretty quick on these race leaders.
My goodness. And he might get Kurt Busch here. He's going to take a look. Doesn't quite have the momentum to make that move, but nose to tail are the front three. Andretti going to take a look underneath. Nothing doing. Did not have the run.
Down the front stretch and towards turn number 1. Kurt Busch still right on the tail of the 31. Andretti right behind him. Tony Stewart in the 42 looking to maybe join this mix up front. Jimmy Johnson in the top 5 as well. And here comes Andretti for second.
Yeah, Andretti didn't want to wait behind that 01 any longer. But now stuck on the bottom without the draft. We'll see if he's able to hang in there. He is going to lose that spot to Kurt Busch, but he'll be in the preferred lane. Racing Tony Stewart here. It does have to back out. Kurt Busch had chopped down in front of him to get down to that preferred lane. Andretti going to drop to 4th as Kurt Busch has a monster turn 4 and pulls right to the back bumper of Robbie Gordon for the race lead.
Yeah, you saw Tony Stewart give some draft help to his teammate down the backstretch there, and what dividends it paid. They move into 2nd and 3rd, and here comes Kurt Busch underneath of Robbie Gordon, and he retakes the race lead.
Robbie has to get down quickly. He does. It'll hold up those 3 behind him just a little bit, allowing a bit of breathing room for that 01 of Kurt Busch.
Stewart underneath of the 31, down the backstretch towards turn 3, trying to make it a Ganassi 1-2. Jimmy Johnson also underneath of Andretti back there, couldn't make the move work, neither did Stewart. So now they head through turn 4, coming up on the halfway mark. As Kurt Busch beginning to pull away just a little bit from that 31, but Robbie Gordon had a great turn 4 there. Might be closing back up down the front stretch.
Tony Stewart at this racetrack. Oh, and the caution is out, it looked like.
Oh, and a big wreck on the front stretch. And I believe somebody might have just got the attenuator, and we have a big collection.
It appeared so. A lot of cars there off of turn 4.
Kurt Busch leads the field back to the yellow flag, and we will get a look at this incident that appears to have taken place at the back of the field and taken a lot of more cars out of this race. I believe it probably started further up front out of turn 4. Even further up, it was Kyle Busch and the 84 car of Montoya. My goodness. Looks like Kyle Busch overdrove the corner there and backed down into traffic, and my goodness, what a hit for Yaley, and everybody sliding around.
Hard.
I believe the 54 got the attenuator. Yes, he did. That was a hard hit.
He got it on the driver's side, too. Slid in there.
And
Very, very hard hit.
That is a lot more cars taken out of this race. DJ Kennington, one of the early leaders, and yeah, that was a hard hit. It was Mayfield in the 54 that got the end of the pit wall there. Lucky for the attenuator to soften that hit at least a little bit, but still hit pretty hard there, trying to find a way through on the bottom, and just clipped Kennington and spun around right into it. That was a hard lick.
Driver's side, a sudden stop like that is never fun. We hope he's okay, but definitely a very, very hard hit for Jeremy Mayfield.
So we're under caution once more. Field does not come down pit road under this yellow flag. Andretti actually will, and Kenseth, who I believe was also in front of that wreck, is going to bring it down pit road. Got a couple of hitters, but the majority of the front runners stay out, and it's going to be fuel only for most of these guys who are coming in here. Tires do go on Newman's race car, though I think he was a part of that wreck. Yeah, just got a piece on that right side. But yeah, that was a hard hit for a lot of guys. Again, we've seen so many hard hits in this race, and Yaley, man, hit it right on the rear of the car, and rear housing getting pushed in, pushed him up into the air. And despite how hard that hit was, that was still one of the less hard hits of it. Again, just, man, that hit for Mayfield was such a hard hit.
Man, that is violent how quickly that car stopped.
And there were a couple others that also slid down through there that could have hit the attenuator. We saw Carl Edwards. We've seen similar incidents to this at this racetrack. Last season, a couple people made some near misses. Edwards ended up spinning down pit road and kept it going after that spin, but a lot of damage on his race car. And man, just what a hard crash. Not a lot of people left in this race. It's Kurt Busch's number 01 car up front on lap number 26. We'll take you to intermission here from Indianapolis. It's NASCAR on ESPN here at the Brickyard 400. Back from intermission here at Indianapolis as we get set to go green. It'll be 20 laps to go on the restart. And as mentioned, there's not a lot of cars left in this race. About 22 of them still in, and even less with clean race cars. Kurt Busch going to be in the first position, Robbie Gordon second, Tony Stewart will be in the third position, Jimmy Johnson fourth, and Kevin Harvick rounds out the top five. And I would say probably about 15 cars without damage left in this race. Just once again, Indianapolis turning into an absolute bloodbath. Pretty much everybody okay. Waiting on an update on Mayfield after he got the pit wall there on that wreck. Did climb out of the car under his own power, but has been taken to the infield care center. Pace car going to peel in on the left. Kurt Busch, the race leader. As we get set to go green here. Busch not a stranger to being competitive at this racetrack. Leads Robbie Gordon and Tony Stewart, two drivers who have also been very, very fast here before. Green flag back in the air, and that time a very good start out of the 31 of Robbie Gordon. Right on the back bumper, and he's going to throw a big block on Busch's teammate Stewart into turn one to try and go for the lead. And he's going to take it right away. Down the back stretch. As we get up to speed, Stewart right on the tail end of that 31 car, and he is going to be the next to try and duck underneath for the race lead. Side by side for the lead in turn three, but Robbie Gordon using that outside, and he's going to stay in front. New leader, it's the 31 car as he leads everybody out of turn number four. Kevin Harvick trying to challenge, and it's the third Ganassi car in the mix. Jamie McMurray moves into the fourth position. Seeing a lot more new faces up front after all the incidents. Down the back stretch. Stewart still right on the back bumper of the 31 car. Might make a second try for the lead into turn three this time. And he's going to go for it. And a big send by Stewart this time. Trying not to get beat on the brakes by Robbie Gordon. And he is going to take away the lead. And might be three wide there, not quite, as McMurray was hanging tight on the door of Robbie Gordon out of turn four that time. Side by side by the 40 and 31. This is for the third position.
Looks like McMurray is going to get that spot as Robbie Gordon gets freight trained on the outside. Scott Wimmer now back in the mix of this race. John Andretti showing back up once more. 21 car looking to have some serious speed. Johnson down to the bottom trying to get by Wimmer.
Very tight between those two. Almost contact. They managed to stay off each other. Still side by side as they enter turn four. Johnson going to try and get that move done. Not quite going to have it made as Wimmer hanging tight on that outside. Harvick and Stewart up front have pulled away from the rest of the field. It's still McMurray in third as here comes Harvick underneath of the 42, and he steals the lead in turn one.
And for Tony Stewart, you have to imagine how badly he wants this win. You know, this being his home track at the racetrack where he saw these stands filled as far as they could go when he was just a little boy watching the Indianapolis 500. Little did he know that he would compete in the Indy 500, nearly win it one time, and now in that 42 car, he wants to win in front of his home crowd. And with such a long winless drought for him, what an opportunity it would be to go to victory lane in front of your home fans in a situation where you need it most.
Think back to times previous at this racetrack. He's been competitive here so many different times. Just has not been able to get that win at this racetrack. He's been so close on so many different occasions. And it was, I believe, a couple seasons ago. He was leading late, had a chance to win this race, lost it on a green-white checkered. Once again, trying to fight for that lead, and he's going to take it right back. So Harvick gives up the lead to Stewart again. And McMurray, the number 40 car, just went down pit road that time.
Yeah, no. It does seem to be a scheduled pit stop. Jeff Gordon pitting as well. Morgan Shepherd. Shepherd has a little bit of damage on the right side.
I think he got that this last lap, actually. And it was contact with Kyle Busch, his number 43, that drove him into the wall. They kept it green because he kept it straight, as did the 43. But yeah, this was following the incident that Kyle Busch got into that brought out that last yellow, and looking like he overdrove it trying to get underneath this 89 and slid through the grass, couldn't keep him off it, or keep it off of him that second time. And that is a rough break for the 89, who is one of the only drivers to have survived so far. But meanwhile, up front, we're going to see more come down pit road as the 42 leads Kevin Harvick down. Stewart, the race leader, into pit lane. And that gives the lead back to Kurt Busch in the 01 machine.
Busch has a pretty nice buffer over that 48 of Johnson and Andretti behind him. So definitely a good opportunity to get a good pit stop here when you have a little bit of room behind you. But we'll see where these guys are able to shuffle out.
4 tires and fuel going on for everybody here. You would imagine that Andretti, that 21 car, who already came down for fuel on the last yellow flag, is probably going to stay out a couple extra laps here, and he will. So out of turn 4, first lap led on the day for John Andretti's 21 car as he sits out in front, and everybody else who came down pit road for fuel and tires is going to be right behind him. See Leffler, Kenseth, Newman, who is also on pit road, back behind him, and meanwhile, Stewart and Harvick leaving pit road on the bottom here.
Harvick looking antsy behind Tony Stewart on that access road.
Who can blame him?
McMurray's going to have a major run behind them.
And he's going to find the lane on the outside, see if he can use these warmer tires to his advantage. Around the outside of Harvick and his teammate. Stewart's going to be able to close the door on him. Maybe not. McMurray way high in turn 4, and he gets past both the 42 and the 20 on the top.
What a move from Jamie McMurray. Just found the grip on the outside lane and muscles by those guys. And Jamie McMurray is somebody that we haven't talked about a whole lot today until right now. Somebody that desperately needs a run like this.
Trying to catch up to his teammate Kurt Busch, who just left pit road in a similar spot to where he was with the 42 and the 20 down the backstretch. As Busch gets up to speed, McMurray behind him, and it is a Ganassi net 1-2-3 at the moment with the 41, the 40, the 42 right behind as Kurt Busch leads in turn 4. McMurray just not quite able to find a way around him yet. And the race leaders are beginning to filter down pit road with around 10 to go. It is 11 to go at the stripe as Casey Atwood is now taking the lead. But McMurray did just get past Kurt Busch in turn 1. So still, it's the 40 car in the net lead right now. Still a couple more left to pit. Sadler, Burton, Biffle, Leffler, Newman, and Atwood yet to come down the pit road. And it was actually 2 tires for the 21 car. So this gets a little interesting as Andretti takes 2 tires. Not sure if that was the case for anybody else. Looking like it was not. And it was 2 tires for the 17 of Kenseth as well. So we're going to see where the 21 and the 17 shake out compared to the rest of the field right now. Atwood and Newman
definitely an interesting call, and we'll see where they cycle out. But if they have a pretty good gap here, which it looks like Andretti will at the very least, this may end up being a really, really good call.
The question is about the elevated tire wear we've seen at this racetrack this year, of if that's going to work out for the 21 team and how long they'll be able to hold on to that margin. And contact between McMurray and Stewart, and the 40 saved it!
Unbelievable that he was able to hold on to that. That would have been a very big crash. Jamie McMurray, what a save coming off of turn number 4. Unbelievable.
Contact between the 42 and the 40 as Stewart looks like he made the mistake everybody's been making today, overdrove into the 40 car on the bottom, and what a save! Unbelievable car control by that 40. We've seen it from him a couple of times in his career, and once again, one of the best in the series at keeping his race car under control. That was a fantastic save.
I mean, down on the flat in the grass, and somehow, some way, keeps that thing pointed in the right direction and really doesn't lose much out of it.
And he's going to get ran
Oh,
into
and he's gonna get hit again.
Goodness me, everybody throwing the 40 car around like a ping pong ball, but he holds onto it a second time as Johnson almost spins him out. Goodness me. Somebody cut that 40 car a break. 10 laps to go. Get ran into by his teammate and then Jimmy Johnson.
Well, it looks like Jimmy Johnson may have found his karma, though, as he got shuffled to the outside lane. As Atwood now exits the pit lane.
Pit stop completed for the 30 car down the backstretch. Meanwhile, up front, Newman still yet to pit. But right now it is Andretti in the net race lead by about a pair of corners as the Ganassi duo of Stewart and Kurt Busch duel for the lead of the guys who have actually taken 4 tires at least. Kenseth out in front of them. Has Stewart trying to run these guys down in his windshield, but he's only got 8 laps left to do it, but they are lapping about a second faster, and it is definitely less than an 8-second lead.
It is, but I will say, valiant effort here from the 21. We'll see if it works out for him. It may net them some positions, but definitely helps to have those 2 teammates drafting with each other as well. Andretti not having the benefit of having draft on his race car, but definitely going to be interesting to see how long he can keep that lead. That is a pretty sizable gap, but we'll see how much it's able to be cut down over the rest of this race.
And you saw right there, that was the 07 of AJ Allmendinger pitting in, who actually was on the lead lap in front of Andretti there when he came in. Didn't lead the lap, of course, and Andretti just got the lead from Newman in turn 2 that time. Believe it was 2 tires for the 38 car as well. Yes, it was, but he has a significant less gap and is going to fall behind these guys who are already on the rubber. So it is Tony Stewart, Kurt Busch, Kevin Harvick, and Jamie McMurray all chasing down the race leader Andretti. There'll be just 6 laps to go at the line, and we'll give you a checkup on what the margin is for the 21 car right now. They are lapping about a second flat faster than the 2 race leaders, Kenseth and Andretti, right now. And it is about a 2-second gap, which you would have to imagine is not really enough to work with right now, but it was a better lap time by the 21 that time, but still losing too much time at the moment. He's got the lap car, AJ Allmendinger, leaving the pits in front of him. But he's going to get right around his outside here going into turn 3. Still clean racetrack for Andretti.
I will say, if I am John Andretti, I am thoroughly hoping for the 17 of Kenseth to hold these guys up behind him as long as he can, because hopefully that will buy him a little bit of time to try and get away enough to maybe win this race. But Kenseth gonna lock in right behind this 07 of Allmendinger, as it's gonna slow everybody up.
Maybe a little too patient with the lap car with damage as Kenseth and everybody gets stuck behind him, and Kurt Busch and Tony Stewart are going to duel for the second, or what should be third, second in line as Stewart gets caught up behind the 07.
Man, and Stewart absolutely falling like a rock, and you gotta think for the 42, it feels like another one that has slipped away as he absolutely falls off of the leader's pace.
Might have cut a little bit of a break to that 21 car as we head down the front stretch here. Running out of laps. It's 4 to go for Andretti in the lead. Busch trying to get past Kenseth.
Ooh, very, very close. Almost contact. Kurt Busch gonna fly by and now has clean racetrack to go chase down that 21 of Andretti. We'll see if he has enough laps. But Andretti does have a lot of clean track in front and behind him.
It's about 2.5 seconds between the 01 and the 21, coming to 3 laps to go. Running out of time to do it. Kurt Busch trying to be a 2-time Brickyard winner as he leads the field, trying to go back-to-back at this racetrack with Kevin Harvick right on his tail. McMurray not too far out of it either. He's in 4th place, providing he gets past Kenseth. 3 laps to go for the 21 of John Andretti, trying to hold everybody off. It was about a half a second in difference between him and the 01 that last time.
Andretti has the track position, does not have the tires, but they have a very hungry driver behind the wheel of that 21 with a history at this racetrack. And what a story, again, it would be if he could enter victory lane for the Andrettis here at Indianapolis. But he has to hold off Kurt Busch, the winner of this race just last year.
Harvick still right on the tail of the 01. Down the front stretch they come. It'll be 2 laps to go for Andretti in the 21 car, who is losing a lot of time to that 01 right now. Almost a full second of difference. The gap is exactly a second, so if that difference continues, he'll be on the bumper coming to the white flag. Andretti trying to hold everybody off. Harvick trying to play spoiler. Busch in the 20 of Harvick out of turn 2.
If Harvick was to get side by side with his 01, it would slow them both down and potentially win the race for Andretti. But Andretti's had a much better lap this time, still has a pretty big gap. He might just have enough here coming to the white flag.
Starting to pull into frame. Kurt Busch and Kevin Harvick trying to run this 21 car down. Out of turn 4, Andretti leads. It's the white flag here in the Brickyard 400. Busch had a monster run out of turn 4, and he ran away from Harvick trying to get to the back bumper of Andretti.
You can tell there's a clear pace difference there, but Andretti just trying to keep it down on the bottom, not let that 01 get underneath him. You want to try to make that pass on the bottom if you're Kurt Busch. Andretti protecting the bottom down into turn 3. Kurt Busch, big run.
Busch to the bottom in turn 3. Here comes the 01 on the inside. It's Andretti and Kurt Busch side by side for the Brickyard 400 win. And through turn 4, Busch has got it made. The 01 of Kurt Busch, the target dodge, is going to do it again. He steals it from Andretti at the end, and Kurt Busch, back-to-back Brickyard 400 wins. Unbelievable.
My goodness. And what a run he had down there into turn 3, the move that won him the race. And that is how important draft is at Indianapolis. Heartbreak for Andretti, jubilation for Kurt Busch. Now a back-to-back winner in the Brickyard 400.
And you gotta just think of how heartbreaking that is for the 21 team, who had the lead with less than half a lap to go. He was so close to getting into turn 3 with the advantageous line. But Busch had just enough speed to sneak underneath him down into turn 3. You saw it right there. It was when Andretti moved up to get his good entrance going in that Kurt Busch crossed him over. What a move by the 01 car, and he steals it here at Indianapolis. My
Kurt Busch seems to be the master of this track type. He runs so well at Pocono, runs so well here. And right at the death, the 01 takes victory in a thrilling fashion. Heartbreaking for Andretti, but an unbelievable win for Kurt Busch.
Absolutely just unbelievable. I cannot believe what I've just seen. I thought Andretti might have had just enough of a gap to hold on, but it was not enough. And Kurt Busch, second consecutive year. There's something about dominance at this racetrack. We've seen it from Jeff Gordon before, has won so many times at this place. And Kurt Busch, back-to-back victories in the Brickyard 400. And what a thriller of a finish here today. But that is going to do it for coverage here from Indianapolis as Kurt Busch, the 01, steals it. What a finish. And race number 19 comes to a close. Next week, we'll head to Watkins Glen. It'll be the Sirius at the Glen for race number 20 of the season. I'm Caden Reif. It's been a pleasure to have you along as always. On behalf of Nate and, well, just Nate, joining me in the booth here tonight, it's been a pleasure as always, and we'll see you next time. And as always, have yourself a good one.
It's a long way to the top.